Hey friends, are you done with dating apps? Tired of swiping through profiles and superficial chats that go nowhere? Well, swipe left on those boring rituals. Introducing Done with Dating, the free podcast-driven dating platform that's bringing human interaction back. We sit down with incredible singles for real conversations on our weekly podcast. Listeners like you get to know them deeply, then apply to date a guest or step into the mic yourself. Plus, we'll regularly host experts that discuss the dating world and provide advice on self-improvement techniques when you are taking a break from dating and focusing on yourself. Made for the bold, built for connection, your dating journey redefined through the mic. Head to donewithdating.co right now and apply. It's free. Your perfect match is one episode away. Hi, everybody. Today's guest is Isabel Calder, and she is a host of Touch Grass, Meet in Real Life, which is a really cool event that just started in the Somerville, Massachusetts area. Isabel, thanks for joining me today.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. I'm looking forward to chatting.
What was your idea with it in terms of what inspired you to start Touch Grass, Meet in Real Life?
Yeah, I think I had a bunch of different inspirations that overlapped a bit. I don't need to get into all of them, but I guess I had this feeling that there was this simultaneously this really isolating struggle with dating that I also felt like I related to with a lot of people that I either am friends with platonically, work with, know in the world, seen on the internet, and also people I've been on dates with. So kind of in tandem with Partyful releasing their crush feature where you could send anonymous crushes to other attendees of events you've been to. When that came out, I was thinking that is like a zero risk way to see if connection is mutual and if it's romantic, which can be pretty awkward and scary to do in real life. And I also thought it would just be fun to have a picnic with my friends and some people that I'd been on dates with. I was hoping maybe one pair might hit it off. Maybe someone would bring their cute friend, maybe two cute friends. And then hundreds of cute friends later, um, we were all in a park. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's really amazing what people can do when they work together and collaborate.
Yeah. It really resonated with a lot of people, I think, and they're excited to do it again. And so am I. Yeah.
And how long did you run it for?
It was only 2 hours, which was pretty short, but I wanted it to be not intimidating. So you can do anything for 2 hours. That's, about as maximum you'd want a first date to be maybe. And I didn't want people to miss each other because it was an all-day event or something.
Yeah, and I was listening to your episode of Wicked Single, and it sounded like there were actually some good connections that people made from the event, right?
Yeah. So I don't have insight through the app, but anecdotally, a fair amount of people have either told me they know someone who one of their friends went coincidentally and met someone. One of my coworkers told me that 2 days ago, they've been seeing someone, their friend had been seeing someone since then. And my goal was for one of my friends to meet someone. And I think most of my friends met someone. So that's worth it. And yeah, I can't wait to hear more about, you know, updates.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. It's very cool. So, did you have any memorable event that you had in terms of something that you saw that was like, oh my gosh, I love this during the event?
Yeah. I guess I really felt this really strong sense of community connection, which was really valuable. There's something that became more exciting to me than the prospect of romantic connection through this, honestly. A lot of people have told me they ran into someone they knew that they hadn't seen for a while, like an old coworker, an old friend, someone from college, and they reconnected a couple times. Someone was like, Isabel, you need to stop. You need to just stand and look around and you did this. Look how many people here are excited and mingling. So that was really cool. I guess something that I was telling my single friends. So people had optional fields to tell me what they were looking for when they filled out the RSVP. And I was using that to basically see who's showing up when people would ask. I'd have a sense of how old people were, what sexualities people were, etc. And I asked people about their type. mostly just because I wanted them to reflect on it ahead of the event, because I wanted the event to feel very intentional. I tried using it to do some matchmaking, but that was a really, really difficult task.
Yeah.
And I don't feel like any of the matches that my friend and I made on Discord for 6 hours were better than what an app would do, because the app's basically doing cutting by age. Do you want kids? Like all these very basic things that aren't actually what this event was about. But I do have ideas around that for the future. What people were into was really cool to hear and describe themselves. There was obviously a lot of commonality, a lot of very like Somerville answers. Like a lot of people really liked dark curly hair. So after the event, I was telling my friends who volunteered, like, you should just consider getting a perm and dyeing your hair dark. I think it was like younger people, like Gen Z. I don't know if there's a celebrity that I don't know about or something, but yeah, people were really open and really vulnerable. And yeah, I guess I just learned something that I already knew to be true, but reaffirmed that, like, if you just want to do something, you should just do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It sounds like you created magic there for people. You really made this a fun event that people could just come to, low stress, no pressure. What was your formula for that? How did you spread the word about this event?
To come to the event? Yeah. So I started with that Partiful event and I invited a few people that I'd been on dates with that were cool, but we didn't really have that connection we were looking for, as well as some of my close friends who I'd had conversations about dating with. And then I got carried away, like I do with most things. And I kind of ended up inviting almost everyone I knew. I invited people who I knew weren't single. And I said, I'm having this event, come as a wingman and bring your single friends. And it also got featured by Partiful as like a suggested event in Boston. I also had a lot of flyers everywhere. I put flyers up everywhere I went for a month. I was really annoying on the internet. And then several other people who promote or attend or are interested in community events like reshared the event a lot. So when I looked at the feedback survey about how did you hear about the event, it was a pretty good split between whether they saw a flyer or whether they were just invited by a friend, word of mouth, which was really cool. So they did want it to be really local.
Yeah, that's really awesome.
Yeah.
So as far as you becoming this host of this event, like this creator, this maker of things, how did you prepare yourself in the run up to the event in
Mm.
terms of mentally preparing yourself to not be overly stressed by it, to ground yourself as best you could?
Yeah. So I know that anytime I host an event, I've got pretty stressed in the past. Because I do care a lot about people having fun. And it helped me to remind myself that this was a free event. So the bar can be very, very low. Um, and also, so I spoke with my therapist about how I'd been stressed out planning events before, because I will sometimes do sort of elaborate birthday parties or just get really excited about things, which is really fun. But sometimes I get so focused on the details that I would like to also have a good time. And so I took a step back and focused on things that really the things that had to get done in what order of priority and which one of those definitely had to be done by me. So I did speak with my therapist and she encouraged me to like offload as much work as I could, which I knew I was going to do anyway. But after that, I wrote out maybe 40, 50 different tasks that needed to get done. And I'd already done half of them. And there were not many more that definitely had to be done by me. So I put those all in a sheet and anytime anyone asked to volunteer, I'd ask them to do that because then I could pick and choose which things I got to be like a diva about. For example, the decorations could be put up by anyone, but things like, I guess, managing the Partiful was on me and I was doing the
Mhm.
social media stuff, but I didn't have to be the person checking people in. I asked a friend to run the merch booth. Yeah. So figuring out which things to prioritize and which things I didn't need to be strict about was helpful. And then also my therapist had suggested that I do an activity with concentric circles, but I made a circle in the center. Those things I had control over, and those were the things that I could focus on. So that was things like my own behavior, making sure I fed myself, who I chose to invite, whether I chose to change the event because of the weather, whether I wanted to do it at a different park, speaking to the police, things like that. Um, and then things that I could influence were outside. So that would be things like telling people to dress appropriately for the weather, but accepting that if someone was going to show up in shorts, that's out of my control. Like influencing people to act with respect, but knowing that I can't control other people and make them show up how I wanted them to. I'm really glad that both the weather and all the attendees were really good. So that was really awesome. And then, yeah, the outer layer was things that I had no control over and could either choose to accept and pivot around. So that would have been um, if something happened, if the weather was bad, if, there were so many attendees and the internet stopped working and we had to do something on the fly, like I can't control that. So that really made my list of things to worry about much smaller and I could focus on things and focus on influencing the things that I thought were important, which were primarily behavior, not getting the event shut down and having a place where everyone felt safe and respected so that they could be open and honest and feel comfortable and open to creating connection.
And you could use this for other components of your life too, in terms of the concentric circle drill.
Oh,
So that's
yeah.
great.
I should be doing that, like, every week probably. I should probably yeah, that's true.
Very great. So I know you're prepping with the idea of like doing more events. So what is next for Touch Grass and Meet in real life?
Yeah, so the week after the event, I went on vacation for a few days and relaxed, and that was great, because I was getting a lot of messages either saying, "That was so much fun, what's next?" or, "I couldn't make it, when's the next one?" And I'd say, "We're currently at this one. I need to see how it goes." So after the event, I sent out a survey asking people what they did and didn't like, what they might want to see in the future. And so this past week, I've been in the process of analyzing that, speaking to potential collaborators and checking in with my own experience. So both from a financial perspective and a what being realistic about the time and resources that I can commit to this event. And I've been getting a lot of input from a lot of people about what the next step should be. So trying to focus on what I want to do and what people, like the attendees, would be most positively impacted by. And I'm in this place where I'm choosing for it not to make a profit. Like I wanted any money that does come in through this goes right back into the next event. Relying on volunteers, there's a lot of enthusiasm. So that's been really great. I'm really thankful for everyone who has helped and has agreed to help in the future. And thinking about how to make that possible, how to make it scalable, how to make the events repeatable, as well as I think the future is deciding between smaller events that are for more niche groups. So, for example, if the group you already know everyone at the event is like the age and the sexuality that you're looking for, then you can focus your conversation on other things rather than just like wondering who even, you have a shot with in that way, keeping the event small. And then also thinking about like when would be the next big event because that was really fun. And even if it wasn't most ideal for making matches, it was still really cool community gathering. Um, but yeah, so I've been focusing on what would be fun for me and what would be fun for my friends and what of those things, the trends in what different people who are interested in the different events, like where those overlap. So looking at the data, it seemed like the older the attendee was, the more structure they were looking for in future events. The younger they were, the more open they were for it to be a drinking event. So yeah, looking at a few trends like that and using that to inform what the events are for those specific groups, as well as things I like to do, things my friends like to do. Like, what would my friends want to attend? What would they want to help organize? And who's reached out to me about doing an event, and thinking about, like, would that appeal to people here? And is it aligned with the values that I've settled on, which are like being outside, being DIY and low tech, and fostering authentic connection, and being local.
Yeah. That's awesome. Do you have an idea? I know you talked about age a bit. Do you have an
Sure.
idea of what range of ages showed up for the event?
I do. So I only have who showed up, but I have little charts. I could pull it up. But yeah, it was about, it was 20s, 30s, and 40s. You had to be over 21, but I'd say it was clustered primarily late 20s, early 30s.
Hmm.
The average age of RSVPs was people who were 29 and a half. And then I forget the mathematical term for it. The age that had the most attendees was 26. But yeah, that was the range. And I did get feedback from people in their 40s and the 20s that they would want something like more for their age group. So I'm going to do that in the future. I just happen to be in my early 30s. So like that's who I know.
Right.
Mhm.
So if people are looking to find out more about your next events, where can they find you?
Yeah. So the best two places would be on Instagram. So that's touch.grass_meet.irl. And also on the Partival event app, there's a Touch Grass Meet IRL Instagram org that you can follow and see any events that are coming up.
Awesome. All right. Well, thanks. Do you have anything else that you want to just pass on to anybody before we finish for today?
Uh, yeah, I feel like other people should be doing this. It's not that hard. I've seen a few similar events pop up since then. I want to make really inclusive events, but part of what made the event work for me was that I had knowledge of what worked for me, my friends, people I've gone on dates with, but I don't have insight into where your listeners live, who your listeners want to date. I am lucky that Somerville is a place that's very open to community events and things like that. But if you're thinking about doing it, just doing it, like nothing I did was that hard. Making a flyer is not hard. Taping on a post isn't hard, and it doesn't have to be as big as this. And it also doesn't even have to be dating specific. But yeah, people definitely want to meet in real life.
Yeah, it's such a great way of doing it. And even if you don't find a connection, it's just nice to be out with other people. You're celebrating great weather, great company, things like that.
Yeah, yeah.
Excellent.
Someone had messaged me that they'd gone out to dinner with a group of people they met at the event, and none of them were necessarily romantic, but, like, they all became friends, so, yeah, I love
That's
that.
awesome. Very cool. All right. Well, thank you for coming on the show. We will keep track of the events going on, and I'll definitely post them or link to them on my Instagram whenever they're popping up.
Awesome,
So
thank you.
thanks, Isabel.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
So if you're done with endless swiping and ready for something real, don't miss a single episode. Hit that subscribe button right now on your favorite podcast app and never miss the bold conversations that could change your dating life forever. Every week, we bring you incredible singles, excellent advice, raw stories, and real opportunities to connect, all for free. Subscribe today, apply at donewithdating.co, and turn your next listen into your next date. Your perfect match is waiting on the other side of the mic. It doesn't matter where you live. Someone local is listening and will want to date you. We'll see you in the next episode. Subscribe now.